Hey guys, welcome to the video. So the DJI Mini 2 now has been out for a couple of months and I'm going to be doing my wish list of what I would like on the DJI Mini 3. We know the DJI release these drones really regularly. This one's been out November last year, so this year we should get another DJI Mini 3. So I'm going to go through what my top 5 wish lists are of one on the new DJI drone. Let me know what you want in the comments down below and we'll see if we match up. So on this drone, the beauty of it is it's 249 grams, and especially in the UK that is a big deal now. Being under 250 grams now allows you to fly this drone in more areas than the Mavic Air, as you've seen on the videos. Able to fly over people, able to fly less than 50 meters, have less restrictions with this drone. So it needs to stay 250 grams or less to keep those less restrictions that we now have in the UK. So that's something that we're going to have to deal with. So we're not going to get all the features that we want on the bigger drones, but it'd be nice to just add a few more in. So the first thing that I'd love, even if it's just a software based, is Active Track. So we've got Active Track on the Mavic Air, the Mavic Pro, even on the Spark you had some kind of ability to track the subject. I think that would make a big difference. I've come into lots of scenarios where I'm just wanting to focus either on myself or an object, or when we was in the snow the other day sledging, just being able to draw a box around that person and then be able to drone to automatically follow them would help a lot. Now on the quick shots, it's got a software based tracking system, so even that would do. Something which you can just use without quick shots to be able to have that active track system. Digital or hardware based, that would be really good. So the second thing that I would like on the DJI Mini 3 would be 4K 60. So we've got that on the bigger drones. So we've now got 4K 30 on this drone, which is a step up from the 2.7K 30 which you had on the Mavic Mini 1. So that's a good increase. And the 4K 30 is really good. It's like phone quality, a decent mobile phone 4K quality. So it's not going to be amazing. You know, it's not the best in low light, but it still captures really nice photos and videos, as you can see from these pictures and videos that I've took using this DJI Mini 2 with no editing whatsoever. So the pictures and videos do come out really well, but having that 4K 60 ability would just allow you to slow that footage down afterwards and get some really nice, smooth, cinematic looking shots, especially matched with the cinematic mode that you get on this drone now. I think that would be excellent. And then an added one, what I would like to see is a even HD version, 1080p, 120 frames per second. That would be really good. Just imagine you're actually following a subject with that active tracker on in 120 frames and then slow that down afterwards. It'll be really smooth. It'll be brilliant. So 4K 60 or 1080p 120 frames per second, or both. That's what I want. The third thing I'd like is a new controller. Now I like this controller, don't get me wrong, I prefer it than the first one because it doesn't have the antennas you've got to pull out, you know, but it's just too big. The Mini is actually smaller than the controller, which just doesn't really fit that form factor. So I like it because I like the battery life on it, and I like the feel of it is good, and also the best thing is you don't have the antennas at the top you've got to point out. I also like that the phone now is at the top of the controller, not the bottom, but it's just too big. So I think this could be compact, especially this lower part here. This should be taken away. I know it's going to affect our battery life, but just to have something smaller, still with the antennas on the top, I think would be a lot better. I don't think this is going to be here for much longer anyway. I think this is the same controller that you get with the Mavic Air 2, and they just included it in the the DJI Mini 2. I don't think this is going to last much longer. If anything, the controller might get worse, but it'd be nice to have a controller like this, but smaller, because this is just too big considering the form factor and the marketing that this is the most portable drone you can get, and then you've got a huge heavy controller with it. This actually is heavier than the Mini 2 drone, and it's bigger than the Mini 2 drone, so this needs to be smaller. Now I know we're probably not going to get this, but the battery life, 31 minutes battery life is good, but it still could be better. especially on this Mini 2. In weather conditions, it's really cold, it does drain really fast, and especially in sports mode. So if we can just push it a little bit more, try and get 40 minutes flight time, that'd be excellent. I know they're not going to put all the features into this drone because then no one will buy that Mavic Air 2. But this is a wish list, so it's not going to happen. But I'm just thinking of features that are missing on this drone or ones that could be improved. And I think a better battery life, even if it's just an extra 5 minutes, would make a big difference on this drone. Because in sports mode, it does drain fast. You only get about 10-11 minutes in sports mode when it's relatively close to you, as you've seen from a recent video. So I just think a little bit of a better battery life would be better for the next drone. Now moving on to the next thing I'd like to have, I don't require any more range. I think the range from this drone is 6 kilometers in the EU, in CE mode, and in the US you're lucky you can get 10 kilometers. I think that's more than enough. You can't even fly that far away without getting it back to you because of that battery life. So if that battery life was say an hour long, you could fly that 10 kilometers and get it back, absolutely no problem. But as you've seen on any tests I've done, the battery life is actually not as good as the signal on this drone. This signal on here is so good with that OcuSync, it can carry on going, but the battery life makes it come back, so it loses that battery life before the signal drops out, which is a testament to that OcuSync system, which is brilliant on here. But so I don't want more range, but if they could have an OcuSync 3.0 and that just strengthened the signal between the drone and the controller in areas of interference and when it's close to you, to have an even better signal. So it's good, don't get me wrong, but there still are some dropouts, especially in high Wi-Fi areas. I know you're going to get that, but if they could make that better and concentrate less on getting that long range, I think that would be a lot better and something we could see. The OcuSync 2.0 has been around for a while now, so I think there is going to be a new one through 3.0, we'll say. So I think that on the next drone would be really good. So also the last thing I want, number 5. Now this is a bit similar to the Active Track, but please DJI, it's not going to weigh that much. I know we can't have as many as the other drones, but give us just one extra position sensor on the front. You take away this nice little blue light, put a position sensor there. I know it's going to add the weight on, but can we do something that's going to get that position sensor on the front, which will allow it to make sure it stops when you're going to face an obstacle. It's going to stop before it gets to it, whereas now it will just carry on. And then that also gives you that good Active Track system, so you could lock onto yourself, you could avoid things. You've got the obstacle avoidance that you get on the other bigger drones. Keep this under 249 grams, definitely, but give us just one position sensor. Forget the side ones, forget the ones on the back. Just give us one at the front, and that will give us so many more features. Talking of features, if I want to add a bonus one, hyperlapse, you can add that on easily with a firmware update. The Mavic Air's got it, the Mavic Pro's got it. Let's put it on here. It's such a cool little feature to use, and still keep extra features for them bigger drones, increase their battery life even more, give them more features. But for a DJI Mini 3, I think those areas would make this drone so well. This is going to be so popular now in the UK, especially with all the restrictions we've got. Give us a few more features. This drone could be the best drone DJI will then make. And for the consumer market who just want it for taking photos and videos, they're going to be picking this drone up, just like I recommend, time and time again, more than any of the other big drones. So that's what I'm hoping for. What do you think you want on the next drone? What do you wish for? Do you think all of them are completely out there? Never going to happen. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you've got one of these drones, go and check out the other videos. If you're new to drones, hopefully my older videos will help you out. And I'll see you very soon. Take care.